Hey, the other day I was watching a YouTube video by one of the biggest names, one of the top YouTubers on the entire planet, who was advocating that you drastically change your setup between your irons and your driver. But I think it's bad advice, and right after this, I'm going to show you why I disagree. Stay tuned. All right, so this particular YouTuber, he shows you that you would like to set up more this way on an iron and swing back more this way. So keep the pressure more on the front foot as you take the club back, set up a little bit more tilted ahead like this. Well, a driver, he was advocating for kind of exaggerated tilt backwards behind the ball like this. And so there's a lot of squaring up to do there. The difference between the two, say for example, I could understand the questions I would get if I put out a video like this. Say, Steve, what do I do with my hybrids? Do I do the iron or do my wood? What about my 5-iron? Do I want my 5-iron like the irons or more like the wood? And when do I change and how much? So I find this instruction to be difficult to follow for the golfer to actually perform. I think it overcomplicates everything. I'm an advocate that every club in the bag has approximately the same setup in terms of the body position and the hands and everything. So I would advocate that the head not be tilted way back, but instead we're going to create a tilt of the right side downwards with just a little bit of bump, lateral bump of the hips. Watch this. Now, I've bent my knee to the center and I've driven my hip a couple inches targetwards, and that's dropping my right side under so I can grip it and stay square. So now you've got the tilt that we need, the slight backward side tilt we need, but while the head stays comfortably in the middle. I think that over-exaggerating this would make it very easy to ground the club back here, come too far from the inside. Be very, very easy to fall into those. So what's the difference here between the wood and the iron? Well, nothing. As long as you've done one tiny, well, simple on paper thing from the same setup. So here's the setup with the driver. And there's my setup with the iron. So what's the difference here? Nothing with my body at all. My body, my head's in the same spot, got the same amount of tilt. I'm not doing anything opposite. You can see the only difference is, of course, the ball is closer to me because a 9-iron's shorter than a driver. But secondly, I've got the ball position about 5 or 6 inches further back in my stance. So, the one thing that you've got to control if you want one setup to work for all clubs is control the low point. I want my low point to be somewhere in between these two golf balls. So you can just simply practice sweeping that point. Really like the idea of those mats, those artificial mats that leave the divot mark. Really highly recommend. I'm not sponsored by any of them, but call me if you see this. I will endorse you. I think they're good products. Show you where your divot is. So practice sweeping in front of the 9-iron shot, almost up to where the driver is. That way, your angle of attack will be taken care of automatically by simply the ball position. You're going to hit down on the 9-iron if the low point is in front. You're going to hit up on the driver if the low point is behind. So get it halfway in between, about 3 or 4 inches in front of the 9 and 3 or 4 inches behind on the driver. Now you can make the same setup. Here's another reason I don't like this YouTuber's advice. Now granted, Their advice might work if you're a complete hacker and you hit behind the ball all the time. Certainly, if I were to set up this way, well, I still hit behind it actually. I hit down very steeply into that ball. Still didn't keep me from hitting behind it though. So it's a little bit out the window. Problem is, a lot of people are confused on how we create compression. Compression of the ball is not created. I'm going to yell it for all the people back in the upper deck who aren't getting this, they're not hearing. Ball compression is not caused by hitting downwards. That has nothing to do with it. You could actually hit up on a 9-iron and get a ton of compression. Forward lean with more of a sweeping strike. That's what creates the highest amount of ball compression. And you're not going to get that kind of shallowish, sweepy effect in this position. You're going to get a very steep downwards chop. Now, if you were out on the golf course and you're having a really bad day hitting behind the ball, you're just trying to get in under that 100 number or even 110, rather than changing the setup, sure, I'll give you the Band-Aid. Yeah, put the ball back off your back toe. Makes it really easy to stop chunking behind it. This would be your double bogey golfer quick tip, quick Band-Aid. And that's okay. If you need to fix something out on the course real fast just to make it work, totally fine. But again, I don't recommend changing the setup for any clubs in the bag. Doesn't that make it a lot simpler if knowing you just have to bend over it, grab the club, set it down, and you're good to go? That's what we all want to do anyway, right? We don't have to worry about, oh, my 7-iron is okay. A lot of information there that takes too long to decode when you're over the ball on the course. So let's keep it simple. Practice making the same low point up at the left instep, but sweeping. Sweep it, don't gouge it. Don't worry about hitting down. Try to hit level up by your left instep. Then, when you got that under control, you can use the same address position for every club in the bag, just like this. And we're good to go. Divot in front of the ball, compression, spin, and distance. Had it all there. Try this. Simply keep the head in the middle. Gently push the left hip targetwards. Flex your right knee inwards just a bit. That sets the right hip and shoulder just a little bit lower than the left and allows you to get the club in the right position at address. Give it a try. Bet it's much simpler. Hey, thanks for watching. Head over to hititlonger.com for more great videos and articles. I'm Steve. Thanks for watching as usual. I'll either see you in the next video or I'll see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Everybody take good care.